you a little bit about my earlier story. I have a history with this that most of the raw food speakers don't have. I found out about raw foods from my grandmother. My grandmother in 1921 had severe asthma and emphysema, and she was hospitalized. It was so severe that the doctor said she only had several months to live. And a relative brought a book to her called the Mucusless Diet Healing System, which came out in 1918. And she read that book and she felt that she had nothing to lose. Most people don't want to change their diet and their lifestyle, even when they're very sick. But my grandmother was a single mom, and she was petrified that my father, who was 40 years old at the time, she didn't know what would happen to him. And she was motivated to do anything to save her own life. So she became a vegetarian and a vegan pretty quickly. And then she moved little by little to a diet that was very high in raw fruits and vegetables. She never said the word raw to me when I was growing up. I don't think they used the word raw. She just said fruits and vegetables, and she always told me, I asked my mother not to cook everything. My mother would cook the broccoli until it was turning yellow. So she told me that I would get much more benefit from eating the food the way that it was. And she lived another 50 years after the doctors had said that she only had several months to live. So that was quite inspiring to me as a child, but I grew up in the 50s and the 60s, and that was when Wonder Bread came about, glazed potato chips, Oreos. And my mother was fearful of protein and did not even want to consider a vegetarian diet, nonetheless a fresh plant food diet. So my sister and I were raised on processed food and animal products. And by the time I got to be a teenager, I had very severe cystic acne all over my face and my back. And for the next 2.5 decades, I went to a dermatologist who gave me hydrocortisone shots in my face every couple of weeks. Very painful, very embarrassing. And it was really very frustrating that when I went to a raw vegan diet in 1994, that my skin was the first benefit that I had, that first healing benefit. My cystic acne healed in about 3 months. It had already made progress once I got off of dairy, wheat, and refined sugars, but the final healing was the water-rich content of the raw living